full of whispers, alibis thin. Two sharp-eyed sleuths say, all right, who sinned? Has tipped low, clues fall in line. They read between the lines, right on time. Grim starts sweating when the squad rolls through. Every story tested, most don't stand up to prove. So grab your fedora, jump right in. True Crime Squad's on, and the trouble begins. Join the super squad, bonus laughs, deeper clues. Same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.
Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
How's it going?
It's good. Mimi Kitty is joining us here too. She's just sitting next to me. You'll probably see her eventually. So,
oh, good.
I just have a different emotional support cat for us all tonight. She was all about it. She was meowing at me and following me to my office. So I'm like, all right, come on.
Okay, you can have a turn. Yep.
and we could use one after today.
Oh, man.
You know, every trial that we watch, there's got to be at least one day like today. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where like absolutely nothing goes to plan.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone sort of leaves going, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
There's
everything
not
kind of
a whole
falls
day
apart.
of court. Like
Yep.
everything falls apart. And that today was that day, friends.
I think today was that day for the defense.
Yeah.
They were fighting
Kind of
with
for the prosecution
all
too.
they had. Yeah,
Oh
but
my
the
God.
defense fought so damn hard to keep all of that of Carmen Lauber's interviews out in a way that makes me think that they know this will sink their case, because holy
100%.
shit did they fight.
They did. So they were supposed to have an hour to hash out some evidentiary issues before the jury came in. So the attorneys were there at 8:30. The jury was supposed to be there at 9:30. So they started out with Jeff O'Driscoll, detective, is going to be on the stand.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't yet, but is going to.
Hold your horses.
So there's an interview that O'Driscoll did with Kouri that they want to bring in. They want O'Driscoll to bring it in. They're going to play it for the jury, but it needs some redactions, because it turns out Kouri was talking. I know you're going to be shocked by this. She was talking mad shit, apparently, in this interview. So they had to redact a lot of stuff because she said a lot of things about a lot of people. Or as they, very PC said, there's a lot of unrelated stuff in this interview that we need to redact. Kouri talking, flapping her jaws, basically. So they go through, kind of line by line, the transcript, you know how they do.
Yeah.
Getting that all worked out. They get that worked out. Then the prosecution says, okay, so remember how they tried to bring in the 7 hours of interview, the 1,000-page transcript of Carmen Lauber with the police? And the judge said, hell no. They wanted to bring it in because basically the defense impeached her. They alluded to the idea that the police had influenced her in her statement, and she's changed her story a bunch of times. And the defense, or the prosecution, wanted to bring in these interviews to show how at the time that she was interviewed, her story actually really hasn't changed, other than she can't remember the days and the times and that stuff. But Kouri asked me for drugs, pain pills, and I got them for her, and I provided them to her, and she paid me. That process 100% did occur, and she's been very consistent about that. It's just that she doesn't remember shit about exactly when or who or how a lot of things happened, but that they did happen. And, the thing you got to remember about Carmen is that her story is backed up by cell phone data and other evidence that shows that, yes, everything that she said happened, it did happen.
They can prove it happened. Yeah.
They can prove it happened. But you
even
remember
from the
how
idiot drug dealer in his testimony.
Even from him, who lied his brains out on the stand. So, of course, then we've got Lewis up to talk about that, unfortunately. And she's freaking out about it. And apparently 2 days ago, the prosecution filed their brief with the court about, okay, here's 100 pages of the transcript. This is what we want to present.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten it down to 1/10 of what we were originally asking for.
Yeah.
And, well, the defense was just like, yeah, we don't want any of that. We want it all out.
Yeah.
And the judge is like, well, that's not really going to work. They had done nothing to prepare for this.
They were clear up to triple hearsay, Your Honor. Triple.
They were clear up to triple hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
They were real pissed. They just want none of this in. None of this is fair. None of this is relevant, because they think that let me tell you, that they think that what they're trying to do is, it's Rule 801 D1B, which is prior consistent statements. Mm-hmm. So this rule allows prior statements to be introduced if the witness testifies at trial, the witness is cross-examined, and the statement rebuts a claim that the witness recently fabricated testimony. And so the defense doesn't want any of it in. Mm-hmm. They're saying it's hearsay. They have all these things. It's a bunch of hearsay stacked on top of lots more hearsay. And the judge is like, well, no, that's not how it's going to work. Like, we got to do some redactions, or what do we need to do here?
Yeah. Well, and he's like, well, you can't say that every single thing that was said, every single word was hearsay. That's just not correct.
And they're trying to bring it in with Detective O'Driscoll, who was one of the detectives in the room at the time that those interviews occurred. So he's there to validate that. Mm-hmm. And Lewis went on forever about how she has never, ever in the state of Utah seen something like this statement brought in unless the witness themselves was there to validate it.
Yeah.
And the judge is like, what
are you talking about?
Because O'Driscoll can validate
brings
it too.
Stuff like this in all the time. What is she talking about?
All the time. About? I'm like, what kind of attorney are you actually, Lewis? Is this your first murder trial? Like, what are you talking about? So they took a break. And the judge came back and he's like, yeah, I reviewed the law, and absolutely this can come in through the police officer. So then, well, all hell just kind of breaks loose in there.
Oh, yeah.
And the best thing I can do for you is just play it for you. This is about 19 minutes long. It's the end of this argument. It's just ridiculous, beyond belief. But let's just watch it. You'll see what I'm saying.
We're back where we started, Mr. Bloodworth. This is the position the state originally took. Does this change anything?
Your Honor, it's largely the state's initial position. The initial position of the state was then not to publish them, right? It was just to send them back so that the jury could, if they wanted to. I'm happy to send the whole things back.
Ms. Lewis, speak to that.
We're not asking, that's only if, we are not suggesting that should happen, only if we're overruled. We'd rather it all go back.
Part, you got to be a little bit specific.
We're not suggesting, it's not our position that any of this should go back. We're only saying if the court's going to allow some of it to go back, then under Rule 106, we need it all to go back.
Forgive me, you've...
She means go back to the jury. Mm-hmm. So rather than present this in court, they're talking about maybe they just send it back and the jury can review it, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe they present a little bit of it, but send like
this
the
redacted
whole...
stuff that the state's got, right? And so then her position is don't send any of it back. But he's still trying to just decide what they're going to publish. Like, they got to get it in first.
Yeah.
But she's got all of these, well, if we lose this, then we're going to blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that's what's happening here.
Pivoted again. It's stay away from going back. Let's just stay on publishing. So I understand defendant's position to be if any of it's published, all of it has to be published.
Correct.
Okay. In response to that, the state, as I understand, is suggesting I'm inferring in the interest of efficiency, rather than publishing all of it, just make all of it available to the jury through the recordings, and then allow counsel to make whatever arguments they want to make about, you should go back and listen to this part. because you'll see this is what was happening. Speak to that for a minute. You could do that by stipulation.
I'm not going to stipulate to that. No.
So
Our
you're
objection
saying publish.
stands.
Let me start again. Imagine that your objection to publishing anything is overruled, and that's the world you're living in. How do you want to proceed from there?
I mean, I think I said that. Then it should all go back. Or
Again, you keep skipping to going back. I want you to talk about publishing for a minute.
It's showing up on the screen.
see, my hesitation is just efficiency. Like I said, it's over 7 hours worth of video. But if that's how the court wants to do it, then yes.
No. That's what I'm asking you. So imagine, here, I'll just make a ruling. I have considered carefully the authorities cited by defendant and the state. I've looked at the text of Rule 801. Ruling as a matter of law that, one, there's no Crawford problem here because Ms. Lauber testified in open court under oath, was cross-examined in open court under oath. It is the cross-examination of her regarding the conduct and circumstances in her prior interviews with law enforcement and other agencies that creates the circumstances providing the foundation for admission of her prior consistent statements under 801D1B. So the defendants further, the court is not persuaded that the only witness through whom a prior consistent statement may be admitted is the declarant witness that made the statement. The court has not seen any authority for that proposition. So to the extent the defendant objects to any of Ms. Lauber's prior consistent statements coming in any way, that objection is overruled.
Not
So,
even with
Ms.
respect.
Lewis, take it from there. Some of her prior consistent statements as designated by the state are admissible under Rule 801D1B. It's how we're going to provide that information to the jury that I need some input on.
Well, I
We
guess-
could just publish. We could admit and send back into the jury room. Speak to those two options.
Well, my understanding was that under the case you just cited, Wyatt, that you were going to allow the portions to go back to the jury room. Did I misunderstand that?
Well, I think there's a basis to do so. It gives me the willies, quite frankly, and that's why Mr. Bloodworth, out of an abundance of caution, is saying prophylactically to prevent any appellate issue there, we would just publish. But if the defendant believes, Judge, if you do this, the least prejudicial way for us to do it is to send the recordings, all 7.5 hours, into the jury room and allow counsel to make arguments about what they show and what the jury should take from them, you could do that by stipulation.
No, I don't want to do that. I think that even though it's not efficient, the appropriate way is if any of the interviews are going to be published, they all need to be published.
Okay, only published.
Correct.
All right, I appreciate your position. Mr. Bloodworth, take it from there.
You see how sober the entire defense is?
Your Honor, the state moves to just publish the narrowly tailored versions that, we proposed as whatever it is, 8-57 through 63R. I think beyond so, I don't think there's a 106 concern beyond that.
I don't know, we're going to find out, but okay.
Yeah, and as a compromise, the state is fine with sending full videos back, or some mix of publish the narrow pages and send a full video back. But the notion of publishing nearly 10 hours of interview is, I don't think it's productive. I think it's a waste of the jury's time.
Okay. Ms. Liz.
We object to it all going back. It's the same problem. The problem arises is the same
She
as...
just said to send it all back.
Well, let me rephrase that. The jury's been told they're to rely on their memory of witnesses. If the whole thing goes back, they can go over and over and over her statements on the video, which is not what they can do with any other witness. So if it comes in, it needs to be published, and then they have to rely on their memory just like they would with any other testimony.
I appreciate that position. Why are we publishing all of it rather than just the parts or some parts of what the state has designated?
Because there are... I mean, I already made my issue, or raised the issue about the May 10th.
We'll get there
Transcript.
specifically. Any others?
Yes. I mean, I would have to go through, I have gone through, but to go through right now, every specific part. But there's a lot that's being left out, and a lot what's being left out are the statements where officers are telling her about what she needs to do in order to not have to go to jail, what kind of deals they're willing to make for her, what she needs to do and say, and that's not included. And yes, some of it she was cross-examined on, but there's a lot more statements like that she was never cross-examined on.
Well, that's choices defendant made, though. So here, in order for me to include additional material, there has to be some basis. Is it a Rule 106 request?
Yes, but in all fairness, the choice was made because that was all that she was questioned on in direct examination. Had there been a redirect back to where I started, then I would have chosen other portions, but I have lost the opportunity to do that.
You haven't, but that's okay. You can certainly have access to this witness.
Well,
Because here's the thing, friends. They are refusing to recall Carmen on the defense side. If the prosecution doesn't do it, they're not doing it either. But then they're bitching that they can't question her about whatever inconsistencies or whatever that's in these interviews, except that they could just call her. And that's what the judge is saying. Like, they haven't lost their ability to question her. They could call her as a defense witness, and they are refusing to.
But they're calling her the state's star witness.
Star
and that the
witness.
defense would be crazy to call the state's star witness. Can you see why they're fighting so hard to keep this stuff out?
Yeah. But then they're going to bitch that they can't cross-examine her, except she did. I mean, we all were there. It was incredibly painful. It lasted 2 days. It was horrible. Right?
It was 8 hours of cross with Carmen.
I mean,
now, come on.
What the fuck? I mean, there wasn't enough. We didn't all suffer enough watching poor Carmen go through that, that they want to do it some more.
Yeah.
And she's been robbed of that chance because she just won't call the witness herself. Like, come on, Lewis. Come on. This judge is so patient.
The way he's like, you haven't.
Yeah, like, let's not be stupid, okay? But he came closer today than we've ever seen him. You don't understand, Bethy. I get it. They want to impeach Carmen some more without actually calling Carmen.
Yeah.
The both sides. So the prosecutor is going to bring in interviews that the police did with Carmen by bringing in the police detective, that one of the detectives that did the interviews, rather than bringing Carmen. Now, that still leaves the defense has Carmen under subpoena. They could still bring her in and impeach her on the stand themselves that way, but they're not going to do it.
They don't want
to. So none of this makes any sense. Lewis went back and forth between, well, fine, if we're going to do this, then I want the jury to get the entire 7 hours. Your Honor, I don't want the jury to get the entire 7 hours. Even the judge is like, wait a minute, what? You just switched directions. What are you talking about? I don't think anyone really knows what's going on here. I think Lewis is just talking out her ass at this point, frankly.
Well, every win she gets, she immediately throws in the garbage can and goes a different direction. It's so hard to understand what she really does want. What she really does want is for Jeff O'Driscoll not to say anything about Carmen Lauber on the stand. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they want.
They just don't want any of this information in.
Because they know that this is really bad for their case.
Yeah, it is. It's really bad for their case. And instead of trying to attack it directly, they're trying to do this roundabout way where they don't actually have to call Carmen to the stand. And it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
I think we've made our record on that.
Are there Rule 106 portions you want to add, having reviewed the designations?
I think we need all of it. I think the jury needs to see exactly what her demeanor is, how she acts with the officers, how the officers treat her. There are numerous other parts of this transcript that may come in through Detective O'Driscoll. I don't know yet. I mean, I don't know the answer to that fully yet, but there are a lot of other statements by both Detectives O'Driscoll and Detective Maynard.
Do you know why she doesn't know? Because they have not reviewed what the prosecution says they're bringing in.
Nope.
They've had it for 2 days.
And haven't looked
But have
at
they
it.
looked at it? No, they have not.
And why haven't
That
they?
go to show.
Because the prosecution has plenty of people, but we don't.
I mean, John Pryor, anyone? We are crying
Right.
about having not enough staff.
You
There are
have three attorneys at that table.
sitting there.
And an investigator.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
probably some
ultimately,
paras somewhere.
the 106 issues are hearsay issues, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's asking her, well, in what the defense or in what the prosecution says they're bringing in, what are your 106 issues? She cannot answer that because she hasn't even reviewed what they're bringing in.
That she was unduly influenced. There's a lot of it.
I know, but you're not giving me which ones they are.
It's because, I mean, all of them.
Okay. All right. That is hard to rule on because it can't be all.
Why not?
He almost said 6-7. I
Well,
really
if-
think he did.
He almost did.
Certainly your position isn't that every single statement made by the law enforcement officers and every single answer is evidence of undue influence.
It shows an arc.
That's the state's point.
Right. I know. And now if we're going to do part of it, then we need to show the whole arc.
That's not how Rule 106 works. I need you to be more specific.
I don't have specific outlines right now in the 1,000 pages of transcripts as to what we would want and what we would, I mean, we want all of it. If you want me to go through all 1,000 pages again and try and figure that out, I mean, guess we can find some time to do that, but
Okay. So, Mr. Bloodworth, as for today, how does the state propose to proceed?
So I propose we call Chris Cotodemos. I then will call Jeff O'Driscoll. We will get to maybe, 45 minutes into his argument before this will become an issue.
Okay.
My sense on timing, Your Honor, is this doesn't become an issue till a lunch break.
I'm not sure what's going to change between now and then, though, in terms of the issue of whether to play everything or just the parts that the state has designated under Rule 801D1B.
Fair.
So, all right. The issue before the court is the state's motion to admit redacted exhibits 8-57R through 8-63R. The state is offering what it views as narrowly tailored portions of the transcripts of Ms. Lauber's prior interviews with law enforcement investigators and other government agencies as evidence of prior consistent statements by Ms. Lauber under 801D1B to rebut an express or implied charge that when she testified in open court in this case, she acted from a recent improper influence or motive in so testifying. In response, defendant does not provide a sufficiently specific argument that the state has over-designated any of these portions beyond what would be permissible under 801D1B. And though defendant makes a Rule 106 argument regarding additional portions that would be necessary to provide context for, explain, or qualify Ms. Lauber's statements, their position is that all of it does. And that does not provide the court with a sufficient basis to rule one way or another whether other additional portions of these prior interviews are required to be included under Rule 106. Based on the record currently before the court and the procedural posture that brings us to this point, the state's motion to admit redact exhibits 8-57R through 8-63R is granted to the following extent. The state may publish these exhibits and use them with witnesses that are on the stand. Sitting here today, the court is not prepared to rule and does not rule that 8-57R through 8-63R may go into the jury room as admitted exhibits under Rule 17K because, sitting here at the moment, the court determines that they should not, in the opinion of the court, be in the possession of the jury to make absolutely sure that the jury does not give undue influence to these specific portions of a single witness's testimony as compared to the testimony of all the other witnesses in this case. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further on that?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis.
Yes, Your Honor. If we actually would move for a continuance because we need to go through all the 1,000 pages again and figure out what portions should be let in. If the court's not inclined to let all of it in, then we don't have anyone in the cry room doing this for us. So we need time to do that. So we'd ask for a 2-day continuance.
2 days.
Yes.
Your request for a 2-day continuance is denied. I don't have a basis to use that much time of the jury when this motion was filed 2 days ago and I raised it with you yesterday morning. Your request for a 2-day continuance is denied.
All right, a 1-day continuance then?
To tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And what is it you're going to do between now and then?
I guess we're going to go through the whole transcript and find out what we want included under Rule 106.
And you're going to file something so I can read it?
Yeah.
Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, the state objects. Not only did the state file the motion 2 days ago with the specific portions, this whole issue was teed up last week when Carmen Lauber testified. I don't think there were any surprises in the motion, and I think the state's motion and the redacted versions it filed were probably what everybody expected.
All right. And Ms. Lewis, you'd be filing something in writing that had additional either Rule 106 inclusions or some identification of where the state has over-designated things, correct?
Yes.
And your position would be that additional parts of the transcript should be shown to the jury, is that right?
Yes.
That is so slow. There's just no way this is going to work. There's no way we can edit the video?
I'm not tracking, Your Honor.
Each of these transcripts corresponds to a video of an interview, correct?
Correct.
It would seem that watching and listening to the video is more efficient than reading the transcript.
Oh, 100%, Your Honor. Based on the ruling right now, like 2 minutes ago, we've launched our video editor to create the video now of the narrowly tailored portions. That's how we would publish them. Is by playing the video.
Okay. All right.
One suggestion.
Earlier, the prosecution had said, oh, video editing takes forever and it's so expensive. There's no way we can just edit the video ahead of time. Yeah, you can. They literally have the transcripts in their hands. They know exactly what they are including. Video editing now allows you to edit by transcript. I edited this video by transcript. I downloaded a portion. I brought up the transcript. I deleted the parts I didn't think needed to be in there. That edited the video. It took me like 10 minutes. Now, this was a 30-minute video, so it's not originally, so it's not as fast. But
It's
Scott,
very doable.
superhero OT guy with the cool mustache, 1000% he knows how to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, in traditional video editing, yeah, it would take days and days, but not this way. Because he can look at the transcript and go, oh, okay, we want this line to this line in, take everything else out. You just highlight it and delete it, and it takes it out of the video. Like, it's that fast. It's an AI editing feature, but it is amazing. So there's no reason why they can't have a perfectly accurate video ready. So there's no waiting, there's no scrolling through shit or whatever. They don't need to do that.
No.
He'll have it ready.
Yep.
Some of this is the defense and the prosecutor are kind of tech dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We've seen that all the way through. Thank God for Jeff and who is it, Katie on the other side, that they can get shit up fast because these other people cannot do it. But entirely possible. But we got to hear the rest of this.
Could be if the state wants to hold off on publishing all of this and see where they get with their testimony of Detective O'Driscoll, and maybe through appropriate direct examination they can get in portions they feel are important, and then maybe none of this would be necessary if that decision could be held off. And then if at the end of the day they still want to publish the whole thing, then we would ask that we not hold court tomorrow so we can do that. I think that would be more efficient.
Maybe.
Your Honor, we're going to want to publish it. Let's just cut to that chase.
All right.
Yeah.
Folks, give me 5 minutes.
Okay. So the judge takes a little break, probably to go scream into a pillow. I think we need a new pillow. It's called a screaming pillow, and you scream into it for a while so that you don't punch anyone in the face. Because I think that was the desire here. He came back. He granted them a 1 day,
Sorta.
but kind of didn't. So yeah, he gave them a deadline of 6 p.m. today that they needed to file with him what they thought qualified under 106, what they thought maybe needed to be added that they wanted shown or whatever. He had to have it by 6 p.m. so that he could review it. Because then the first half of the day tomorrow, it's not there's no court, it's there's no jury.
Right.
So they have to be back in the morning at 8:30. The jury doesn't have to be there until 1.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to duke this all out. But, I mean, all that the defense wanted to do was bitch without no actual... This part of this transcript is hearsay, or this part of this transcript.
Not a single timestamp, not a single thing.
One.
Not a single
and she
example.
Kept bitching that she was going to have to go back through the whole 1,000 pages. Dude, you could at least go through what the state presented in their filing. Like, come on.
Before you show up in front of the judge and bitch about it without a single thing to actually say, and without filing anything in return. But when he gave her 6 o'clock and then she said, can we have until 11? He's like, well, no, because I have to review this stuff. No, I'm not staying up till 11 o'clock to wait for this to come in. Oh, wow. It was
It was something today.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that, and then they bring the poor jury in. This is at like 11:30. Finally,
Jury's
the jury
waiting
comes
for a
in.
good 2 hours. Yep.
And I guess 11:15. Then they bring in Chris Kotridemus. We've seen him before. He's the Cellbrite cell phone expert who testified last week. He is on the stand for a whole 7 minutes. What they're talking about is about the timestamps on text messages. If you remember, Kouri's boyfriend said that the times seemed wrong on the timestamps on his text messages.
Yes.
They brought him in to explain how time zones work and that everything is in universal time on like in the cell phone, like Cellbrite
And Verizon
reports and Verizon.
reports. Yeah.
So you take the universal time and then you -7 for Utah, and that's normal standard time, or you -6, which is daylight savings time. So the -6 and -7, those are adjustments that show local time. They just wanted the jury to know that. I'm sure that's going to come up again tomorrow, probably with O'Driscoll. They had no questions for him. The witness steps down, and that was it. That's all that happened today.
Yep.
Then the judge told them to be back at 1. And told them to be back at 8:30 and said, I need that by 6 p.m. And that was it. Oh, the judge had asked the prosecutor, do you want us to do anything in today? And he said, well, can we do this one cell phone guy because it's going to be like 10 minutes. And freaking Lewis goes, well, that cuts into our time. I'm like, you need to stop talking like now. Shut up. Get out of here and go do your actual work. Because what the hell? The fact that they had absolutely nothing to present to the judge today on this issue is quite something. Yes, Jamie, complaining without a solution is called whining. The whiny defense attorney trope, it does not fly. No, Lewis is not on Tyler Robinson with Nestor. It's just Nestor and 2 other attorneys.
Ramos isn't either. It's 2 other men.
No.
Yeah.
But I really question with Lewis, like, have you done this before? Some of the things she says and the way that the judge is constantly schooling her.
Well,
it's
and today
like,
the way Nestor was
Jesus,
coaching
lady.
her as well.
Yes, Nestor coached her. You heard lots of hot mics because Lewis just wouldn't turn off her damn mic. She talked over the judge until the judge stopped her again today for talking over him. Like, it was not good. This was not a good day for the defense at all.
Well, no, and that was pretty
It
evident.
could have
by
gone
their
much better.
faces. They all
Yes,
looked like
they
they'd
were
been slapped.
They did. They all looked like they'd been
Including
slapped. When the
Kouri.
when the judge came back and said, Carmen doesn't have to get on the stand to bring this in. This officer can. That is the law.
Yeah.
They were very defeated. So
I'm not sure how they thought they would win that.
I'm not either, especially having no actual examples. It's the whole thing, Your Honor. It's a 1,000-page transcript.
The whole thing.
Well, it can't be that.
It's triple, quadruple.
Oh, yeah, the whole... Well, that's double hearsay. Well, that's triple hearsay. But it wasn't any actual, like, real time-stamped examples of anything. No. Yeah. Right? The judge is more patient than Boreski. It's wild. I know. It's sweet relief. I know, too. I feel the same way. Do they know Utah law? Because the judge is constantly schooling them on Utah law, but they're just trying to get away with stuff? I don't know. I'm blown away by why they can't just have been prepared.
What? How dare you?
I know. How dare I? We wanted to get in a little bit into the walk the dog letter because that was another part of this argument that was going on that I think we're going to see more tomorrow is the portions of the walk the dog letter that are going to be allowed in. And so Katie's got the walk the dog letter for us. It's been a while since we've talked about this. This is a letter that they found tossing Kouri's cell that, got her in some pretty big trouble and actually got her a whole new defense team. So, Katie, tell us about the walk the dog letter.
So the walk the dog letter was found in Kouri's cell on September 14th, 2023. It was inside an LSAT book, like she was studying for the LSAT perhaps, or stashing stuff in an LSAT book anyway. The reason this happened is because Kouri, while someone was visiting her, rather than, speak appropriately like you're supposed to, she was writing things down on a piece of paper and holding them up, which is against the rules. But Kouri's been very sneaky this whole time.
Oh, yeah. She didn't want anything recorded that they were saying.
The folks that are, on the internet screaming that she's innocent, I always kind of have to laugh and go, do you not remember the walk the dog letter or the behavior that got her there?
Yeah.
Because this isn't, in my opinion, the way very innocent people act. But the walk the dog letter was essentially a letter that she wrote to her mother. Now, the state argued immediately that this was an attempt at witness tampering. The defense argued that it was in an envelope that said that it was for her attorney, though the defense, the police deny that. But that's how they tried to get it thrown out initially. There have been some very bitter fights about the walk the dog letter. So I'm going to read it to you. It's 6 pages long. It's handwritten. This is kind of Sarah Boone-esque.
Yeah. Maybe even sneakier.
Maybe. So the top of it says walk the dog, and then it says, but take vague notes so that you remember, with a star. So I don't know where the starred part is, but. And she's referring to her first attorney, Sky Lazaro. Now, Sky wasn't on her case anymore very long after this, and there was some scuttlebutt that maybe that was because of the way they, what she did in this letter that made Sky a witness. Sky's firm said that they also, that it was on irreconcilable differences and ethical concerns. So they also had, they were, or had been, perhaps representing her, or somebody in their firm had, in the civil matters. But it read to me like, yeah, this person is asking us to do things that are against the law, so we're not going to represent them anymore.
Yeah.
So, or this trial would have happened a while ago, but she had to start over with a whole new team. So here's what she says. Sky is saying, now remember, this is a letter to her mother, Lisa. Sky is saying, even if the gummies have fentanyl in them, the prosecutor will say, I tried to put the fentanyl in the gummies so Eric would have them. Stupid, I know, but that's what she's thinking. We will still test them, though. However, she wants to link Eric getting drugs and pills from Mexico, so we need some kind of connection. Her private investigator is doing some research on the ranch/cartel place Eric would stay at. Here is what I'm thinking, but you have to talk to Ronnie, that's Kouri's brother. He would probably have to testify to this, but it's super short, not a lot to it. He will need to tell Sky at the meeting next week. Upon information and belief, just like they say, a year prior to Eric's death, Ronnie was over watching football one Sunday, and Eric and Ronnie were chatting about Eric's Mexico trips. Eric told Ronnie that he gets pain pills and fentanyl from Mexico from the worker at the ranch. Not to tell me because I would get mad because I always said he just gets high every night and he won't help take care of the kids. There are pictures in my phone of Eric passed out on the floor or in the chair. Ronnie should have texts from Eric talking about getting high as well. Eric told Ronnie he keeps them in an allergy pill bottle in his work truck so I wouldn't find them. Ronnie never told me about this conversation. Eric finally told me and asked if Carmen could get him some. Eric never wanted anyone to know he had an issue, Now remember, this isn't true. This is what she's saying, that her brother Ronnie should tell her attorney.
Yeah.
Eric never wanted anyone to know he had an issue, especially get caught, so he always wanted Kouri to go down for him. When they traveled, Eric would put his drugs in Kouri's bag at the airlines right before they boarded. That way, if they were caught, Kouri got in trouble, not him. Once they got to wherever they were going, Eric would pull the drugs out of her bag and it would cause a huge fight. She was pissed he would risk her going to jail for his drug use. He just would laugh about it. Eric couldn't ruin his image that he had drug issues, so he would do whatever he had to. Kouri has never done any type of pills, didn't like them. Rarely she would consume THC, only if Eric begged her to because it was a special occasion. Reword this however he needs to make the point, just include it all. The connection has to be made with Mexico and drugs. Ronnie will have the messages to prove Eric confided in him about getting high. It can be short and to the point, but it has to be done. Upon information and belief, LOL. They never found pain pills or fentanyl in my house because he hid it in an allergy bottle in his work truck. And Cody emptied out the work truck within a week, so they were never found. When you talk to Ronnie about this, meet up with him in person. I worry sometimes your house and phone are bugged. Maybe drive down to SC and meet him after work without Bree. Sky has to make the connection between Eric and Mexico because that makes the most sense in her mind. If it's Ronnie's information and belief about the conversation over football, she can use that as a connection. Tell Ronnie don't overanalyze it. It was a quick 2-minute conversation, LOL. Tell him I need him to do this, bring me home, and then we will get those damn bitches. Also, please text Lotto. Lotto is another boyfriend of Kouri's from later down the line. Or call. Tell him do not text me anything about us doing things together ever. Like church, skiing, trips, nothing that puts us together. It doesn't look good. We were so close to the end. Let's push through. Oh, we're so close to the end. Let's push through. Have the conversation with Ronnie before he meets with Sky. Then tell him to tell Sky at the meeting about the conversation. Hang in there. We're almost there. Love you to the moon. Take vague notes of all of this so you remember before you walk the dog. I saw a commercial yesterday. Utah Mortgage Relief. Google them, please. It's for people behind on their mortgage. Can you see if they can help at all on Marissa's house, please? We have to get hers, yours, and Chelsea's taken care of ASAP. Try to go to that place in Camas. What about asking Lotto to do a loan solely in his name and not have you on there? I know he can do a home equity line of credit on his house in Hideout. Not sure if he would, but I know he has like $1 million in equity. Maybe he just doesn't know about a HELOC. Well, Kouri does. If he wants to help me, taking care of these loans is the most important. I don't give a shit about the yodels. Remember I told you one way to get at Katie is going through my phone and finding a picture of her girls, even with the boys. Print 15 copies and send them out anonymously to different media companies. Obviously, don't email the pictures so it's not traceable. She would be livid if it got out to the public. You would just have to do it sneaky and be careful. She would try and trace it back to you. If not, no worries. Sky is having the my girls do the first interview with Good Morning America. Please tell Chelsea to bring up that he hasn't been to church in 13 years. She has known him. And Eric would brag to her about how much he drank and did pills in high school. Tell Kelsey to say Eric always wanted Kouri to go down for him. For example, he would put drugs in her suitcase when he would travel. They would travel together. So if anyone got caught, it was Kouri. He would put it in her bag right before they left the house so that Kouri didn't know. Then when we would land wherever, Eric would take them out of her bag and Kouri would be so pissed and they would argue about it. I'll tell Kelsey to say how Eric didn't care and would just laugh about it and say, well, I can't get in trouble, as if it was okay that I got in trouble. Have Selma talk about Eric in Spain not being able to drink, so he was looking for drugs the entire time, and explain the drink the waitress gave him and how I called his doctor and went to the pharmacy immediately. Have Allie talk about how the sisters have always been jealous of me because anything they could do, Kouri could do better. Being a mom, college, stay-at-home wife until she built $1 million company. Whew. A nice house, car, everything she had they wanted. This comes down to jealousy, money, and Eric's partying that they don't want to acknowledge, and sadly, an accidental overdose. Lastly, don't forget to work on the gun receipts. We want to file charges and let the prosecutor not do anything about it to use in our defense. Will you buy a box of Crest white strips, open them up, put them in an envelope, and have Sky give them to me? You can tell her what's in the envelope. I'm sure she won't care. I'll make sure they can't be found in my cell. My teeth are yellow from so much coffee and tea all day. I love you, I love you, I love you. Hang in there. We're getting there slowly. You're the best mom in the whole world. I'm so lucky to have you.
Yeah.
So yeah. So she had instructions for everybody of what that they were supposed to say and what they were supposed to maybe make up. And yes, that went out to the public that she was putting her attorney up to smuggling contraband into the jail to her, which made her attorney look real bad. That's
and that
extremely serious.
Her family was going to walk the dog, and the dog was Sky, the attorney. They're going to make up this whole story so that Sky will do what she wants them to do in this whole lie about Eric and his fake drug problems and, getting drugs from someone in a cartel in Mexico, because he had just gotten back from Mexico because he was hunting in Mexico because he lost his hunting license in the U.S. All of that is a lie.
Yeah.
They can't prove any of it except that had Ronnie said that to Sky, then and they tossed her cell and they found this letter.
So a few things that were said about the letter. First, it was supposed to be, that was in an envelope that was for her attorney, so the police had no right to read it. They can't prove it was in an envelope to an attorney. The police say it wasn't. It was just folded up inside a book. And of course, they tossed her cell because she broke the rules. And that's kind of what happens in jail. You do shady stuff, they're going to toss your cell and see what else you're up to.
Yeah.
So then the other thing, then they tried to say, well, this isn't real. Kouri's just writing another book, and this was a part of the book she's writing.
Yes. It was just a real coinkydink that it had everything to do with her case.
Yeah. Just wanted her mom to come up with pictures of her sister-in-law's children and send them out to all of the media to try to cause a problem with them or intimidate them. Okay, sure. Yeah, that seems right.
That letter is really damning. They have fought so hard. We don't know which parts are coming in and which parts aren't. There have been a lot of fights about that. I think we're going to learn more about it tomorrow.
I wouldn't be surprised if the fights about that aren't even done yet. But there was a ruling back in January, but the ruling was pretty open-ended and kind of like, okay, we'll definitely redact some of this later. So we don't really know.
I think that's going to be happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's pretty damning stuff. Clearly a lot about, this narrative. And several of you said that narrative follows the narrative that the defense is using quite closely. And it does.
Yeah.
Which I think is rather disgusting.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
they
Nestor
don't want them to know it came from a jail cell toss. Yeah. No.
What is it with this? She's been in jail. She's on trial for murder.
Yeah.
It is not a big secret that she's in jail and that she's been in jail. I mean, give me a fucking break.
Even if she got bailed out, she would have been in jail for a minute.
Right. Yeah.
It's
I know, but she's so
wild.
afraid that that's going to affect the jury. The jury already knows. Like, come on. The jury's looking at her knowing.
And frankly,
been
if
in
the jury
jail.
hears a portion of this letter, they'll probably put those pieces together then too.
Yeah. Yeah, because why would
it's-
Kouri be writing this letter if she was out and could just be telling her mom this in person or on the phone?
Mhm.
Why would she be writing it down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. There is no way it was for a book, right? We laughed so hard. We've been on this case from the very beginning, and when that
We have.
statement was made by the defense, we keeled over laughing. I will tell you guys, you would have liked Sky Lazaro. You would have liked Sky. She was actually very cool, and I think was a really good defense attorney. That's why she got the hell out.
Yeah, I think at this point she went, yeah, well, this client has compromised me. I'm not doing this shit.
She did. Yeah.
And that's why we've got the crack squad we have now.
Yep. For sure.
So a couple things I wanted to just kind of review kind of where we are at because we're coming down to the end of the prosecution's case.
Yeah. Hi, Kylie. Welcome.
Let's see. So 3 legal issues that will probably influence the outcome of this case. Cause of death. Fentanyl versus voluntary ingestion, right? We know it's fentanyl. We know he died of a massive overdose of fentanyl. Are they going to be able to prove that he didn't take it himself and that Kouri had the opportunity and the motive and the access to the drugs? That's really, really important. Of course, the defense's theory is that he may have just taken them voluntarily, intentionally, or accidentally. They've wanted real hard to make it like they were maybe in those weed gummies, except we know that they tested them and the fentanyl was not there. Witness credibility, particularly in Carmen Lauber. How is the jury going to see Carmen Lauber's testimony? Now, of course, the prosecution's goal is to show that this has been consistent over time. And that's why they want to bring in these prior consistent statements to remind the jury that, she may be getting some of the small details wrong. And it doesn't matter because she's never changed her story. The Kouri asked her for the drugs. She procured the drugs for Kouri. Kouri paid her. She provided the drugs. Like, that part has been consistent all the time.
What's also consistent is she never told Carmen that they were for Eric.
No, she didn't.
She never made any kind of statement that my husband needs these or is asking me to buy these or anything of the like.
No. But yeah. Also, there's no proof that Eric ever bought any drugs through his electronics, and they can prove it on Kouri's side. The defense goal, of course, is to show that Carmen had motive to cooperate with the police and may have changed or shaped her story around what the police wanted her to say and that she's not reliable. So today's fight was very important, and tomorrow morning's will be too. Kouri's statements to the police. This is going to be really important. We're going to see this probably tomorrow. They're going to be showing, the prosecution's going to show things that show that Kouri is inconsistent, that she gives real weird explanations for why things happened the way they did, and that show potential consciousness of guilt. The defense is trying to fight this with what's known as Rule 106, which is the rule of completeness. So they're arguing that if the state plays a clip, the jury should hear surrounding context. There was a lot of complaining about cherry picking today on the part of the defense, which I thought was very, very ironic considering some real cherry picking that the defense was trying to do earlier this week. But yeah.
Like Sudafed? Could it be Sudafed?
Yeah.
Oh
my God. It could definitely be Sudafed. Yes. And then,
I mean, the jurors are already going to have to read all of the damn text messages that they refuse to read out in court. I mean, how many days do they want the jury to be stuck deliberating? I mean, it's important. I realize that.
I mean, the jurors did read those text messages in court too, but
they did.
But yeah,
I'll bet you they need to reread them.
Yeah, I'm sure that they do. And sending back, all the gigantic transcripts and everything. The other part of that is that if you send back a huge amount of transcript, like on the part of Carmen or on the part of Kouri, you're giving the jury the impression that this evidence is more important than any other evidence. And that's something they want to be really, really careful with.
Yeah.
So these next couple days are super, super important.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, did the defense make that 6 o'clock filing? We don't know. Probably won't know till tomorrow morning.
Bet you they
Taking
didn't.
any bets that they didn't make that time? That they had no intention of making that time?
Mm-hmm.
That was more my impression than anything with Lewis, is that she just wasn't going to damn well do it at that time because she's pissed.
Yep.
Rather than,
well, and then
could
when
they
they
have
called
gotten
the
through
one
it?
witness, she didn't realize they would call that one witness.
Oh, yeah.
And she kind of did this sharp intake of breath and went, eating into our time. It was like 10 minutes.
She did.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing about this was pleasing Lewis. Yeah.
No. But boy, they really are, I think, on thin ice with the judge.
Mm-hmm.
That if they don't show up with their shit, then it may just not get in. I mean, there is no time left here. We are at the end of the prosecution's case.
Yep.
So tomorrow we start at 8:30 a.m. That's what time the attorneys have to be there. So we're going to be seeing a bunch more of this arguing. The jury doesn't come in until 1. These are all Mountain Daylight times, of course. Stupid daylight
the judge has
savings
made
time.
all kinds of time. Yeah.
Yep, he has. He knows there's going to be some BS in the morning, and we're going to be there for all of it.
I'll tell you what my prediction is. My prediction is, rather than a written filing that he asked for, he's going to start receiving bits and pieces via email.
Probably.
Here's what we do have, Judge. We're still working on it. Here's a little bit more, Judge. And by about 9 o'clock tonight, they still aren't going to be done sending him over their complete filing. That's my guess, but I could be wrong.
And we might see Judge M have had it with these guys at this point. Mm-hmm. If they don't follow through with what he's asked for, he may just go forward with what he's already brought in for the prosecution and be like, maybe every chance. This is your problem.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess we will see. So we'll be back over on the Trials channel at 8:30 a.m. Mountain tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's going to be a really important day, guys. So you don't want to miss it if you can be there live. If you can't be, of course, we will be back here at 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time for the summary. Thank you all so much for the super chats. The super chat is always on, and we do appreciate it so much. You know how much work it takes when we do these trials. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
But we're really glad to be here with all of you, and we will see you in the morning over on the Trials channel.
Yep. If you haven't subscribed to the Trials channel, we stream from the Trials channel, which is True Crime Squad Trials. You can find a link for it right here in our show notes, or you can Google it, but True Crime Squad Trials. It does have our old logo, the bright turquoise and orange.
Yep.
That is where we stream the trial itself from over on YouTube. So be sure that you go and follow that page as well. And that's where you'll see the live stream. We have such a dang good chat because you guys are amazing and never show up in our chat and fight and be jerks because you're great. If you've been in
very much,
well, like East Idaho Newses, you would like to cry. So, we have a great chat because you guys rock. But
yes.
Then we'll be back here at 6 p.m. to wrap up what happened yesterday. I think we'll all be, I don't know, drinking.
Possibly. Exhausted. Or elated that we feel like the prosecution has finally fully proven their case, because I still think.
Yeah. I just
not 100%
don't
sure they have.
think there's any chance that Driscoll wraps up tomorrow. It's not possible. He'll be on the whole following day too.
I'll bet.
I don't know what's going to happen this week. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, things are not going as planned, so we shall see. No. Alrighty. Well, you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Join the Super Squad. Bonus laughs, deeper clues, same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.